Hello there. Good morning and good evening. Welcome to this session and warm welcome to one and all of you. And we hear a lot of feedback these days that it's very beneficial, but some people have requested me on specific topics to talk. And if you have such topics, please let us know. Or you can comment in the section, or you can subscribe to our channels, get access to the complete playlist. And if it is still missing, then you please let us know. We are ready to help you. Okay. Um, I hope and I believe that these kind of sessions are useful for you, but if you want us to change the style of presentation, you want us to be more narrative, let us know. We will see what best to do. Right, we are going to start this session today with a different topic, but we are going to read a famous quote from Theodore Isaac Rubin. Um, the quote goes like this, right? And where the quote is saying, "Learn to love the fool in you, the one who feels too much, talks too much, takes too many chances, wins sometimes and loses often, lacks self-control, loves and hates, hurts and gets hurt, promises and breaks promises, laughs and cries, is weeping also. It alone protects you against that utterly self-controlled, masterful tyrant whom you also harbor and who would rob you of human aliveness, humility, and dignity, but for your fool." Welcome to this section. Welcome to this session, sorry, where we are going to talk about a very important topic, a topic that no one can uh, ignore and which is inevitable. You will have to embrace this topic. You will have to embrace this title, and that's called as accept the losses and failures you go through. Have that attitude of acceptance when things don't go well during the bad times and situations which you did not expect, or circumstances which you wouldn't have kind of anticipated or predicted. They are just coming right in front of you, and then you have a big problem, a shocking surprise. I never expected of it. And this is where most of the people break down and they end up in depressions and they give up on life. They take some stupid decisions and they kind of end their lives. And this is where we need to focus today. And I'm sure you will appreciate. We will see what best to do to touch upon the various parametrical areas and the nomenclatures. Uh, what sometimes people create such situations. They create failures and they're not able to overcome it. Some people, they try really hard, they work really hard, they put the best of their efforts, but still what happens is they end up with these kind of unexpected failures and losses, and they're not able to bear it, they're not able to tolerate, and there is no one to help them to overcome. And this is where we are putting our efforts and kind of collating everything that is going to help you to get you out of that situation, get you out of that mindset and attitude. Okay, first question is, we are going to ask basic questions, then we are going to contemplate, right? Why is it important to learn from your mistakes? Most frequently asked question. Or we will come to the acceptance mode little later, but we need to understand we all commit mistakes, and some mistakes are really terrible. It's going to cost you a lot of money, it's going to cost you a lot of energy. It may even make you to end up in certain terrible and horrifying things, right? Maybe at your fault, maybe not at your fault, right? Whatever it may be, mistake is a mistake. Let's agree to it. Let's stick to that stance. Learning how to make the most of them can help you rework and reshape your goals, redefine expectations and needed, refocus your school and work, and feel more positive overall, regardless of the situation. That's why the learning from your mistake is very important. It helps you to regain your focus, regain your attention, regain your ambition, regain your passion, regain your energy, replenish it with positive attitude, positivity, that it is possible, that this is not the end of the road. You're not dead and gone, you're still alive. All the organs in your body are working fine. Look at the handicaps, look at people who are born lame, blind, deaf, like Helen Keller, right? Blind, mute, and deaf. She just cannot do anything, but she has done wonders, right? And she is a motivational speaker too, and with a translator, by the way. Making mistakes allows you to learn what you value, what you like, what you don't want, what you don't need, right? All this kind of negativity will be erased or will be abolished only if you go through these kind of mistakes, because the each mistake that you commit is a learning. Repeating mistake is a quite another thing, right? You may be a dumb person, you're not that sharp, you repeat mistakes, but still find your own ways, right? Enroll yourself into a mentorship program, get a mentor who can guide you, assist you for some more time, and then yeah, it's like learning bicycle. You fall down but you learn, right? We will look at certain examples towards the end. uh, what do you call a person who makes the same mistakes over and again, repetitive? Just now we told you, right? You sometimes are quite popular in committing a mistake time and again, right? You don't learn from your mistakes, right? A similar term is called as recidivist. Recidivist is the technical term denoting a person who repeatedly offends. For example, offender of the law. Time and again he commits a crime and then he gets jailed, come back committing the crime, goes back to jail. He's a regular offender. Well, that is not acceptable as far as crime is concerned, but in life we are all not perfect, right? No one is perfect. Some people get it all right the first attempt, some people get it all right only in the 100th attempt or 1000th attempt. You do not know, right? Each one of us are born with certain capabilities and potential, and we need to agree and accept and live within those boundaries and admit those acceptance. We will talk about the attitude of acceptance in a moment, but a common quote often misattributed to Einstein is, insanity is repeating the same mistakes and expecting different results. See, you can call that person an insane. He's a continuous offender. But then each time he commits a mistake, there is a different result. And who knows, one of those results will become an invention. Don't you think so? So it depends how you look at things, right? That's where we are trying to code such things and pull you out of that kind of mindset. Now, how to accept the mistakes of the past? Because the human memory is very sharp and strong, right? The biggest hard disk, the strongest hard disk which never crashes is human hard disk, the memory. But minus that, everyone are everywhere after Microsoft, after whatever Macintosh hardware, etc. Ours is the best hardware. But the problem is sometimes it ends up to be a kind of a negative factor that we don't let go certain past mistakes. And we have given a session also on the let go attitude, right? Don't hold it, let it go. But then this is little different when it comes to very much confined to the past mistakes that you have committed. What are the techniques, what are the tips you have for us, my friend, and how can I overcome that? There are a few tips. Talk it and share it with someone, simple, right? And accept your mistakes, what you have done. Accept that this is within this limitation of your capability, this much only you are capable, and therefore you are repeating such mistakes. All right. And empathize with anyone you have hurt, right? Maybe there are certain losses you created or caused to someone. Maybe you want to go and reconcile with them. That helps. Empathizing attitude, right? Plan what you could do better next time, right? Make some planning and strategy work. And that's where I asked you to enroll for a mentorship program. Accept somebody as your mentor who have gone through these kind of trainings, and they help a lot, right? And look for learnings and applying those learnings and kind of bouncing back to normalcy and separate yourself from mistakes, right? And lastly, the most important one, challenge your negativity. The negative thoughts which is lingering on the corners of your brains and heart and mind, challenge it. Why do you keep on troubling me? Why you think I'm always a failure? This time I'm not going to fail. You need to challenge it and kind of overcome, fight it out. These are the ways where you accept the past mistakes, yet you find a way to overcome, right? Some people keep challenging the mistakes itself, mistakes of the past. You know how I was, you know how beautifully I used to draw, you know how beautifully I used to work, but now I have lost all my skills. Rewinding the tape, it's called as gossiping, it's called as grumbling attitude. It will take you nowhere, it will take you backward instead of marching forward. Staying in the same place at least far better, right? You will start going backward, backslidden. So come out of that habit, right? What are the benefits of making mistakes? Are there benefits of making mistakes? Are you crazy? Yes, looks like there are few. Making mistakes provides learners with a boost in confidence and courage and self-esteem, right? You will get that self-confidence and courage and the respect for yourself that you are able to commit mistakes, and each time you are able to overcome with your own solutions. right? You will not end up with mistakes, live with mistakes, and die with mistakes. It's not like that, right? You will find your way out. And they know that there is a support system in place if they need it, but they are also aware that there isn't a guide to walk them through the process and answer every time the questions they have on their behalf. Therefore, that will implicitly build that self independency, and they will not rely on people quite often. But at the same time, they also know how to make use of the system that is available to support them, the system or people, the mentorships, mentors or the leaders who are available to help them. This is how every industry functions. This is how the school functions, college functions, university functions. There is a hierarchy, there is a system put in place, right? Now, how is correcting a mistake very important for success? Somewhere you need to correct it. The corrective measures will have to be taken. You cannot always live in the principle of, yeah, what to do, mistakes happens, mistakes happens. 10 times you say it, you are already a failure, right? Ninth or 10th time, at least 11th time, you should be able to finding a way to overcome and kind of become a veteran. You should be out of that. And why it is important? See, it is important because you will gain clarity. We have been taught that mistakes mean we have done something terribly wrong and we have failed in some or other ways. This is the past, right? This is how the legacy continues to be instilled in our brains, and that is not fully right. Identifying actions and outcomes that makes us feel like we didn't succeed can help us gain clarity on what success actually means to us. See, only when you fail, you will understand the roadmap to success, and it'll help you to bounce back with much more clearer directions. Therefore, it's important that you commit a mistake, but it's very important you correct a mistake through planning and strategy and kind of overcoming with some sort of tips and guidelines. That's where you need somebody to mentor you if you repeat mistakes many times. Mistakes let us know we have strayed from what we want to do, or have to do, right? That's why correcting a mistake is very, very important, and we all have to learn. Now, there are 5 ways to learn from your mistakes, right? You can always see, take mistakes as a positive attribute, right? You can learn and then you can bounce back stronger. And I will prove it to you with examples how it worked for many people and how they became veteran great champions. And the world have turned and looked after them, right? They were astonished. Is this person who really was successful? People were astonished, right? And these are some of the tips or guidelines they followed, they applied as principles or doctrines in their life. It can be philosophical too, no problem. Acknowledge your errors. Number one, you acknowledge you have committed a mistake. Acknowledge, okay, I've committed. Ask yourself tough questions. Why did that error happen? Not that how could it happen, not emotional biting your tongue and finger and nail tips and nothing like that, right? Ask logical questions, analytical questions, um, to challenge the situation. Therefore, you find the root cause, why it happened. Make a plan, as we told you many times. Make a plan. Make it harder. Make it harder for the mistakes to occur. Meaning, set up more contingency plans. Contingency plans means if you're a programmer, you will have exceptional handling, error handling procedures. If error happens, go here and handle it. Right? Don't show a blue screen. Don't show a red screen. Kind of, right? You will have a user-defined message. Therefore, you need to anticipate for the errors and put in a kind of a error handling mechanism, failure handling mechanism. And even then also the failure is not handled, then it's a different story. We need to find another way to handle failure over failure. That's a different thing, right? Make it harder to mess up things. Make it harder for failures, right? Create a list of reasons why you don't want to make the mistake again. See, there are every reason that you made mistakes enough. Now there should be some reasons why you don't want to repeat the mistake again, or why you repeat the mistakes. These are the things which will help you to come up with this kind of, the basic foundation for your wisdom towards future. You can march it. You can march with a lot of, positivity. So there is a true story. It's not a imaginary thing, right? There is one story about Thomas Alva Edison. We all know him, right? Thomas Alva Edison tried 2,000 different materials, not experiments, 2,000 different materials. Can you imagine 2,000 different materials in search for a filament towards inventing light, the bulb, right? He was the one who invented light. All of us know that, no? When none worked satisfactorily, his assistant complained. Always these guys have assistant, no, and the assistant also is equally crazy. And he's made a statement: "All our work is in vain, boss. We have learned nothing. Gone 2,000 materials we tried, nothing worked." You know what Edison replied? Interestingly, Edison replied very, very confidently, "Oh, we have come a long way and we have learned a lot." How? He's asking the assistant. We now know that, and Edison replies, "We now know that there are 2,000 elements which we cannot use to make a good light bulb." Wonderful, right? So there is a learning that he understood these 2,000 elements are not fit for any bulb, and it's going to crack up or fuse or burst or whatever, and therefore we are not going to endanger any mankind. You see, even in that, it's not negativity. There are failures. They tried many things, it didn't work, just didn't work. But then there is also a positive thread he could pull out of that. And that's the beauty of Edison, right? So mistakes are part of the natural process of learning, right? For example, we'll all learn bicycle, right? Take that good example. We all learn bicycle. We fall so many times, we break our knees, we fracture our hands, or we get it scraped in the tar road, and etc. Or fall on a mud. Each one of these falling down experiences is what made you as a successful rider. Then you switch to bikes. Then you become a four-wheeler riding fellow because you have understood the traffic norms. But the basic step was bicycle, and you did not learn without mistakes, without falling down experiences, right? And it was these mistakes that were a big part of our learning. And that's what we need to look at, the bright side of the mistakes, the positive side of the mistakes. Now we are stepping into the second half of the session. The second half of the session is very, very important, more than the first half. What it means is we need to have an attitude of acceptance. See, many people, right, they unplug that acceptance. They don't acknowledge, they don't accept. Acknowledgement we have learned already. Now acceptance is quite a different thing, right? You need to accept what had happened to you, or what had happened, what had emerged to have happened. The reality, the ground reality will have to be accepted. One keeps contemplating, keeps questioning, "Oh, it cannot happen for me, it's so unfortunate," and emotionally getting carried away, then they have a big problem in life. All right. An attitude of acceptance means to have a willingness to see and feel what is happening in the present moment. You will always be a man of presentage and futuristic perspective, and not a man of past. Man or woman who lives of the past is more emotional. The gossipers, murmuring category, or you know, are very feeble. They are very timid. They break easily, right? They're very feeble. And feel what is happening in the present moment and accept things just as they are. Naturally, this is not always an easy thing to do. Yeah, as much as this is sounding a little philosophical, this is like a proverb, but it's not easy to practice. We also want to tell you that, but it's not impossible. We don't talk about impossible things here, right? We always talk about things that are possible and which helps you and for your own benefit, nothing else. People around you, you change the atmosphere by changing yourself. And that's why it's very important to apply these principles very quickly and start. It's a process, it will start working. It's like sowing a seed, and you keep watering it as it grows, right? And then it takes some months or years to bear the fruit. And similarly it happens in your life too. Now why is now, many people ask questions: why is acceptance important, very important in life? Why should I accept? Why can't I ignore? Why can't I pretend as if I have forgotten? Why can't I leave it behind and all that? No, you cannot do that. It's very, very tough to live in this kind of principle, right? Acceptance is not something that can be enforced. The story of learning how to accept things always begins with not being able to accept them and then finding a way to do so. It is so important because if you do not accept yourself for who really you are, you will create a number of more problems in your life, and you will end up searching solution for that problem for the rest of your life, which means you're going backward. That's what we are trying to tell you. Instead of marching forward, you start, going backward, and that's a big problem for many people. That's why you see some people stuck, stagnant. That's really bad and unfortunate, right? You shouldn't be having that. You may be experiencing pain in the process of learning things, accepting mistakes, and etc. Physically or emotionally. You may be tired, irritated, frustrated, bored, regretful, anxious, grieving, etc. etc. Now, look it in the eye, right? You will see that. You will be able to learn from a person how these emotional parameters are quite visible in the eyes and face, right? You can make out whether the person is sad, grievous, or happy, or joyful. Acceptance does not mean passive resignation and that things that cannot change for the better, right? On the contrary, what acceptance really mean is nothing but it'll bring clarity to what you need to change and find a way through to adjust yourself into the new parametrical directions, into new expectations. It'll help you to change. See, everyone will have to go through these kind of emotional disturbances, but then to some or other situations, through some or other situations, but then you'll need to find a way to adjust yourself to the change. You move the needle to a different direction. Now, as the last sentence what we made indicates that there are some things that can be changed or improved or fixed, right? Some some of that we have to endure for the short term by going through the motions until it is over, and some of them need to be a long term, or sometimes you have to live lifelong in this kind of mistakes, in this kind of errors, in this kind of shortcomings. And that's where acceptance helps you to kind of find a way out. Ultimately, you need to be out of that barrier, out of that emotional disturbances, and that's where you need to basically help yourself. Now we are going to end the session in a minute or two. We are going to teach you a very simple technique and a famous technique. Many people might be knowing it already. It's called as rain technique. RAIN, rain technique. Now R stands for recognize what is happening in this moment and how am I feeling. Where do I feel it in my body or brain or emotions or heart or mind, whatever it is, right? R stands for recognize what is happening. A stands for allow life to be just as it is. Accept the person as how he is. That is a proverb, right? That is a saying. Like that, you accept the life, allow the life and accept as it is. I can't let the thoughts or the feelings just be here, even if I do not like it, right? Whether I like it or not, I have to sometimes travel through life in that channel, in that direction only. Therefore, allow. R stands for recognize, A stands for allow. And thirdly, I for investigate. Investigate with a lot of kindness, investigate with a lot of courage, investigate with a lot of compassion, right? Don't be harsh at yourself. Don't be calling yourself and abusing yourself, saying what kind of human being I am, and screaming and breaking glasses and something like that. No, don't do that, right? It's investigating with kindness. Why do I feel this way? Is it really true? Or is it just an emotional cloud which is just passing over? Emotional clouds always pass over, so don't worry. I'm emotional, it will pass over because it's a cloud. Cloud cannot stay in one place, right? It'll move. So don't be worried. I'm mad. I feel like crying. It's uncomfortable, but I can allow myself to feel this way. Is this what you do? What you should keep repeating to yourself? That's called as investigating with a lot of kindness and compassion. Fourthly, N stands for non-identification. Yeah, tough to understand. No, I'm having a thought or emotion, but I'm not that thought or emotion. You understand? Huh? You have not become that thought, you have not become that failure. It is just inside of you as an emotional parameter. That's it. It's like passing cloud only. It's like flowing water. It will flow off. Matter of time. Time is a good instrument, healing instrument, and you need to give it some time. I can have angry and disappointed feelings. Without being those feelings, I'm bigger than how I feel in this moment. This is what you should keep telling yourself. So rain technique: recognize, allow, investigate, non-identification, right? Sometimes you need to identify those passive parameters which will be there only for a mere moment or for some time, and it'll go away. You shouldn't think or feel bad, oh, forever it is going to stay. This is the end of the world. This is the end of my road. Nothing like that, right? I hope this session was useful, and by this we end our session. We strongly request you to please subscribe to our channel. Therefore, you get access to all the materials that are put in there, and each session is going to be fruitful. We can assure that. Why? Because we're talking about life, right? This is not about some pep talk or motivational speeches. We are talking about life, and life is all about falling down and rising up. You understand? Falling down and rising up. This is all about life. You fall down and you just lie down there. Oh, somebody won't lift me up. No, you need to make efforts. Babies only will may have that behavior, right? They'll fall down and they'll be making all the dramatic moments as if they have broken their bones. Nothing. You lift them, nothing. They'll be back to. They need that kind of emotional touch, attention. But after you become an adult, you have that baby behavior, then whose problem it is? It is your problem. This is what life will only, life will most people, for most people, it is all about troubles. It's about traveling through hardships. But you just cannot let yourself down, but you need to rise up. And that's where we are helping with these kind of sessions. You can call it a motivational session, very true. But this is to more often helping you how to overcome things in your life and be a veteran, be a successful sailor, be a champion, right? Be an inventor. So whatever name you want to give name. We want to see you successful. We want to see you happy and glad. God bless you. Stay tuned. We will meet you soon with another session. Again, we request subscribe to our channel. You need any kind of sessions, please comment there, or WhatsApp is 9902212152 is our number. God bless you.